Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you. Today I want to get into 5 pairs of shoes that I'm selling to start my 2023 sneaker fund. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these kicks and talk about why I'm selling them. So just in case you missed my top 5 sneaker pickups of 2022 video, I talked a little bit there about it's not so much a New Year's resolution, but I have been accruing way too many pairs and I've just been spending all out of pocket for all these pairs in order to be able to make content to make the channel grow. Before this channel, I was not buying this many shoes. I was buying a lot, but I wasn't buying this many by any means. And in my mind, there's really no reason why I should have 200-ish pairs sitting downstairs and not being worn and that sort of thing. I only keep a certain number in my rotation at all times. It's not 200. And at this point, I just have way too many in the collection to wear myself. And so I'm trying to make space. I'm trying to clear out my office. And I'm also trying to clear out my shelves downstairs in the garage. I just thought it would be a neat goal. And I thought it would be helpful to me and the family if I could try to use all the funds for buying sneakers this year from selling shoes that I already have in the collection. I don't know if I'll be able to 100% fund my sneaker collecting by what I already have in the collection, but I think it's possible, so I figure I'll kind of document this process and keep you all posted along the way. I've actually been writing things down, and I plan on just making a spreadsheet of shoes that I buy, shoes that I sell, and just a running total to see if I in fact cover the cost of all my sneaker pickups by parting ways with what I already have in the personal collection. So when I got thinking about building my sneaker fund or whatever, I kind of just in my mind thought, well, I need to at least start with $1,500 or so just to give me the freedom to go ahead and go for whatever is dropping that I think is worth picking up for a review or to keep in my personal collection, that sort of thing. I came up pretty quick with 5 pairs that I thought would get me near that $1,500 mark. 2 of the pairs actually sold immediately and I already shipped them out. The first pair that I sold is the Dark Glow Yeezy 700 V3. My reason for selling this is because I was shocked at what they were going for right now. I sold that for $369. What I do is I just match the lowest asking price, and at that point it was $369. It sold almost immediately in a size 10.5, and after fees and everything I made $328.94 off of that. So about $330 off of selling my Dark Glow 700 V3s. I have a lot of black Yeezys. The 700 V3 is one of my least favorite silhouettes. Not to knock it or anything, it's just I don't see myself wearing that as much as what I wear like 350 V2s, 700 V1s, that sort of thing. So for me it was easy to part ways with that because the reward was worth way more than keeping a shoe that I might not ever wear on the shelf. So I made about $330 off of the Dark Glows. Then another pair that I sold was the Lottery Dunk Low. I got those on a restock on Finish Line, and I wasn't expecting to get them. I didn't even know that they were dropping, but I ended up getting my size on a restock. They cost a little over $100, but I matched the lowest asking price on GOAT at $199. They sold pretty much immediately, and my takeaway from that was $175.09. So in those 2 shoes, I have a little bit over $500 already. Then I'm going to show you the other 3 that I listed. One of these pairs already sold, and we'll get into that. So the first pair I want to get into, even this box I think is really dope. This is a women's Jordan 1 It's not in my size. It's not a colorway that I would wear. I showed these to the family. Nobody really acted like they needed them, so there's no sense in me hanging on to them if I can part with them and make some money. I think the reason why I've held on to them this long is just because I think they're so cool. I think they're really neat to look at, but I can't wear them. I'm not gonna wear them. And really, the girls in the family don't really wear too much light pink like this. Nobody was really crazy about keeping them. I enjoy just looking at them because I think this is a dope shoe. I think these are really, really neat, and they definitely feel special. They definitely feel like better than average when it comes to a Jordan 1 high. But since nobody's wearing them, I figure the money is better than just keeping them and letting them collect dust. So this is the first one on my list. I'm hoping to get about $200 out of these, and I should be able to do that. I matched the lowest asking price on this pair. Although I think this shoe is beautiful and everything, I can't wear it. Nobody in the family has worn it or spoken up and said like, oh, I really want that pair. So I'll go ahead and part with them, and that'll help my sneaker fund for this year. But the bubblegum Jordan 1 high is another pair of shoes that I am selling to build up my 2023 sneaker fund. Next up, I love the way Jordan Brand has been doing these boxes. If you've got any of this silhouette here recently, then you can probably tell what kind of shoe this is inside of it. It's got the Flight font on the top with that Jumpman really popping off of there. And this really reminds me of the Topaz Jordan 4s, Midnight Navy Jordan 4s. Really, there's been a bunch that have had this kind of finish on it, and it kind of matches the shoe pretty well. And just in case you couldn't tell from the box, this is indeed the infrared Jordan 4. These dropped last year. I actually already parted with the Thunder Red Jordan 4s. They just didn't really do it for me. The more I looked at them, I just really wasn't feeling them. I like this pair more than the Thunder Red 4s, and these aren't selling for near what the Thunder Red 4s did. These aren't going for a ton of money or anything. I think I sold these on GOAT for about 320 bucks. So my takeaway from this, I'll probably end up making like 50 bucks over what I spent on these. I did get these for retail. So it's always nice to make money, and the 4s are one of my favorite silhouettes, and I really, really like the look of these. But I just got the black canvas 4s, and I've been wearing the Canyon Purple 4s, those really hairy suede 4s. If I already have a shoe in my rotation and it kind of fills that same gap, then it's easier for me to part with a shoe that is along the same lines. I definitely like the black canvas 4s more than these. When it comes to keeping one or the other, I'm going to keep the black canvas 4s. And as far as having like dark shoes, I tend to gravitate more towards light colored shoes. So I'm already rocking the Canyon Purples, and that's a dark colored 4. And I just don't really need these. Like, I have other things that can fill this gap. So I decided to sell these, and that's another shoe that's building up my 2023 sneaker fund. And then last but not least, before we get into this one, you might recognize this Flight text on the top. It's a white lid. Maybe you know what's in here, maybe you don't. I'm going to say before we get to the shoe, this is the hardest one to part with so far. But that being said, it kept crossing my mind. It's selling for good money. I got this one for retail. I haven't worn it yet. And I got a couple other shoes that kind of fill that same gap in my wardrobe. So there's really not a need for me to hang on to these and let them just collect dust. I figure somebody else can buy them and wear them. So if you don't know what's in here yet, this is the white Oreo Jordan 4. And I think this actually made my top 5 list for 2021. I absolutely love these shoes. I think they are so dope looking. I think that the Jordan 4, especially with a pretty much all white upper, is really, really easy to rock. I held on to these because I also got my son a pair, and he would rock his a good bit. Well, every time he would put his on, instead of me taking these off ice, I would just wear my fire red Jordan 4s. And we would still match. It's not like anybody would think like, wow, those shoes don't go together at all. People were still like, oh, daddy's got 4s on and Bubba's got 4s on. But that being said, I just never took these off ice because I already had the fire red 4s in my rotation. They weren't dead stock. I took them off ice pretty much immediately and started wearing them immediately. But that's kind of the way I've been thinking, is just whenever I have a shoe in the rotation, like a white Jordan 4, I don't necessarily need to take another white Jordan 4 off of ice. Also, another thing that really helped me decide that I'll go ahead and list these is that I got the Midnight Navy 4s, and I also got the Military Black 4s. Those are both downstairs. I'm not really sure which one I like more out of those two. I probably like the white Oreos more than the Midnight Navies and the Military Blacks, but I definitely like my Fire Red 4s more than this pair. So I still have the Fire Red 4s. They still look brand new, even though I've worn them a whole bunch. And I just figure it's not doing me any good to have these sitting on the shelf, so I might as well try to get a little bit of money for them. This is probably the most valuable pair that I'm selling out of this first bunch, and I think I have them listed for like $520 or something like that, and they've been selling for right around $500. I think after fees and everything, I can make about $450 on these. So that's definitely, you know, a nice chunk of money, and that'll buy a pair or two for this year. Altogether, the shoes that I've shown you should put me right around like $1,500 to start with. And like I said, I've already sold 3 pair of them, the 2 that I didn't show, and then the infrared 4s, I just got to pack them up and ship them out. But this and the bubblegum pair I haven't sold yet, but I don't think it'll be too long until I sell them. I think I have the lowest asking price on both pairs. But anyway, that's what I'm starting with. It should give me right around $1,500. That's not all that I'm selling. I'm definitely going to continue digging through and that sort of thing. With this pair, I just wanted to be able to have something that would get me a nice chunk of money pretty quick. But I have a lot more valuable stuff that I'll go ahead and list. It's just I have to sort through what I have. It's pretty bad. I don't even know what all I have downstairs right now. But that being said, I'm going to keep on building up my sneaker fund and see if I can sustain the channel with just that. So far, I've only purchased 1 pair of shoes this year, and that was the 1906 protection pack in the Castle Rock colorway. It's been a slow week for sneakers, so that's good. It kind of helps me breathe and maybe build up the sneaker fund a little bit before I immediately start copping shoes. But I've got the protection pack pair coming, and I'll keep track of all that. I really do want to keep track of what I spend versus what I bring in by moving pairs out of the collection. Let me know if you're getting rid of any pairs to kind of build up your sneaker fund, and let me know your thoughts on these pairs that I'm selling. If there's any you think I'm foolish for getting rid of, or if you think it's okay to just go ahead and part ways with all of them. I appreciate you all watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.